One of the most fascinating aspects of the Bene Gesserit Sisterhood to me is their ability to read people and see the hidden meanings in what they are saying. So we're going to examine a short part of text from the first Dune novel by Frank Herberts and see how Jessica uses this ability to root out a spy, find someone the Atreides can buy to be an aid to them, and find someone who can be a threat to her son. Spoilers for the first book throughout. Let's get straight into it. Jessica has arranged a dinner of the people Leto needs to know to help with his governing of Arrakis. There is a spice smuggler, Esma Tuek, Leto Kynes, and others. Jessica recalls lessons on espionage and counter-espionage taught to her at the Bene Gesserit school. Those schools state that when you are from a certain school of espionage, they give their students the same basic reaction pattern, which can be analysed and predicted. To draw out the analysis, you must use interrogation patterns and then observe the language. There is a guild banker at the table, and through these techniques, Jessica sees he is a Harkonnen agent. He has the Gidi Prime speech pattern, and his attempts to mask it do not work on her. His pattern is to shift the conversation to something innocent, but with ominous overtones. So he comments on birds of prey, how he enjoyed watching them fly over Arrakis, and then he says how, on his own planet, they become carrion, eaters, blood drinkers. A stillsuit manufacturer's daughter comments on this, and he responds with, "I am a financial advisor to the Water Peddlers Union." Jessica sees his coded words. He said, "I too control the ultimate power on Arrakis, the water." Liet Kynes then is drawn into the conversation, and Jessica notices how the Harkonnen agent is terrified of him. When Kynes needs defending, the water seller leaps to his defense, and Jessica notes there is some accord between them. Perhaps this is just about the water the Fremen treasure, and a deal with Kynes or the Fremen as a whole to get access or share water for the peddler. Regarding the agent, I think he speaks of the secret of Arrakis, that the Fremen keep lots of water stored for the day they can restore the planet's green. Perhaps that is why there is tension between the agent and Kynes, who knows that secret and is behind starting the Fremen on that path in the first place. They discuss the water on Dune, and if there is enough to change the planet's ecology under the right conditions. The banker picks up a water flagon and asks Butte to lead them in a toast. Jessica sees hand signals between Gurney and Duncan and the Atreides guards. Paul cuts in and ends the tension by pointing out the way you should behave in certain places. Butte smiled. The banker feels insulted. Jessica decides to draw the banker out and says what Paul says was for all the guests and not just aimed at him. The banker moves away from the table, getting ready for violence. Paul had mentioned a code word, garment, which meant prepare for violence, and the Harkonnen had picked up on it. Perhaps he was worried about being captured by the Atreides at this point. But at a signal from Kynes, the water smuggler stands to make a toast for Paul and the banker, who looks disturbed again. All rise for the toast except Paul and the banker. Perhaps the allegiance between the smuggler and elite Kynes comes into play here, where he stopped the violence by moving things back to being more civilized. But there is another threat. Gurney asks the stillsuit manufacturer's daughter and says people should not be quick to offend, to which she gives a very articulate answer, where before she was empty-headed with the guests who talked to her. Jessica sees the hidden plan. Gurney has too. They had planned to lure Paul with sex. The girl's part is to do that, then perhaps kill him later. Leto Kynes presses the banker, who apologizes for his behaviour and is in turn forgiven by Leto Kynes, and then the daughter speaks to Jessica and says she hopes there will be no violence. Jessica sees the daughter was made to lead the conversation in this way, and Jessica says the Duke will remove all Harkonnen agents from Arrakis. Perhaps this is a warning to the girl and the banker, who are those very Harkonnen agents. that they are being watched. I assume the girl and the banker are working towards the same goal. Jessica calls for dessert, and when the stillsuit manufacturer says perhaps the recipe for the Caladan dessert can be bought, Jessica registers him, and she thinks he can easily be bought with this sycophantic attitude, bought as an ally for the Atreides. There are so many hidden meanings here and potential threats, and Jessica, and to a lesser degree Paul, sift through it and understand it using their Bene Gesserit training. Now friends, I turn this over to you. What do you think to this scene in the books and its tension? Who are the Harkonnen agents? Have you read a coded word at the dinner table? Comment down below.